Hello and welcome to another edition of the People's Rose. I'm Jared.
I'm Brooke.
And we are married, happily married.
Happily.
I'll have you know. Very happily.
Okay.
And we also love to happily watch, that doesn't make sense, reality TV. We love it a lot. We love it so much, we decided to start a reality TV podcast. Man, and we started it last year. We're over a year old now.
Yeah.
We've been talking reality
1
TV.
year Annie.
For a year. We've taken some extended breaks, but that's how reality TV works,
yeah.
you know. Right now, we are not in break mode. We are in all hands on deck mode.
We are in our prime, really.
Truly, because right now, there are so many reality TV shows on that we like that it's almost too much.
It's almost too much. I will agree.
It is definitely approaching like, okay, how much are we going to allow this to be a hobby and something that consumes us? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, we've got great podcast, life balance, whatever you want to call it. And we still get all the shows that we want to watch. We're watching Bachelor. Bachelorette, excuse me. We're watching Claim to Fame. We're watching Big Brother. We're watching 2 editions of Love is Blind simultaneously. We are watching any other reality TV that trickles in.
All the Housewives.
All the Housewives Brooke keeps up with. We're trying to get into sports reality TV, like The Receiver and The Quarterback, but we just had the Olympics. Yeah. We just came off of being done with that, so there really wasn't much room for that. And so we've got so much to talk about. We've got 2 episodes coming out this week is the format we've gone to. This is the first, if you're listening to this one. We're going to talk about the Bachelorette Claim to Fame and Big Brother on this one. The Big Brother is joining the first podcast because we've got tons to talk about with Love is Blind. And Love is Blind will get its own second podcast immediately following this one. So if you only want to hear about Love is Blind, go ahead and click in. Actually, let this one play. You've got errands to run anyway. And then listen to the Love is Blind podcast.
Yeah.
Where we'll get into Love is Blind Mexico and Love is Blind UK. But until then, let's talk about Jenn's love story. Brooke, we are watching the Bachelorette Jenn season. Just before we get into it, how are you feeling about Jenn at this point?
Wow. About Jenn? I like Jenn. I love Jenn. I think she's fun. I think she's, trying to figure life out.
Right.
All that and love and I was really impressed with how she handled Sam in this week. Because man, train wreck. Truly a train wreck.
My dad literally sent us a gif of a train wreck happening while we were watching the show live. It's the best way to describe it.
Honestly, we need to get your dad on this pod because his hot takes are so good. We'll be watching and I'll literally be like, I can't wait to hear what he has to say about this.
That's truly how it happened. She's like, oh my gosh, I wonder what he has to say. Moments later, my dad is sending us a gif of a train crashing.
The family group texts go off during Bachelorette and Big Brother.
Yeah. People are wondering, Jared, how did you become such a reality TV fan? We need to talk to my parents. Anyways, so yeah, I agree. I think Jenn is, I'm liking what we've gotten from her. She has way more depth than I gave her at the beginning of the season, which that was unfair for me. We'd only known her. We hadn't seen that much of her. Of course, we were going to see her depth. Where does this season rank? And I mean, you don't have to give me an exact number.
They all kind of good. They're kind of all even. But I would say I like her more than a Caitlin Bristow or what was that other girl, Katie Thurston. She's above them to me in terms of show.
Most.
Well, I mean show. What's the word? Not no person is above another person. I feel like I need to clarify that.
I wasn't thinking that, but okay.
But show satisfaction.
Yeah, just show your enjoyment of the show.
Yeah.
Interesting. My favorite. But I'm interested in what's your favorite. Don't forget about Bachelor
of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I can't. I don't have a memory like you do.
Okay. Well, we won't do that. Well, maybe we'll say that for the end of the season. So let's get into it. Now is this right? We're in Seattle. We were in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, we're back in the U.S. of A.
Yeah, I must have been somewhere else. Why are we in the USA?
Well, because they're back to hometowns.
That's right. So they
had to come back.
Got us back.
But why
to
they
North
chose
America.
Seattle, I don't really know.
Well, if they're gonna choose America, Pacific Northwest is a pretty good destination. I think.
And I guess if you're coming from New Zealand.
Yeah. It was. You're right. Probably saved.
Yeah.
A little dime on the jet plane. They don't ride in jets on the show.
Right.
Okay.
I saw a TikTok, by the way, of the guys in the airport.
Yeah.
The top 4, but how they don't have their phones.
Well, yeah, but the production does give them phones to record stuff for social media.
Huh.
I saw them doing like TikTok trends, but it was recorded when it happened because the trends are old. TikTok trends last maybe what?
Yeah, but I'm passing the phone too. People still do that.
Yeah, that's an evergreen one, but they were doing one that was like, I forgot what it was. It was some TikTok trend that I was like, this is a good solid.
Yeah.
It felt like half a year ago. I don't think it was quite that long.
Yeah.
Let me just, while we're talking about TikTok trends, the funniest trend of all time in the history of social media, maybe, is the "Give Me My Money" prank.
I did not tell you. I forgot to tell you. On driving on the way to school with our son, I was like, he was handing me something. He was like, "It's money, Mom. It's money." And I said, "Give me my money." And he thought it was so funny. And then he started doing it.
Yeah.
He was like, "Give me my money." And he would not stop. He was like, "Again, Mom, again."
Well, that's because it's just a silly phrase to say.
Yeah.
Especially how it's said. But then the way the prank works, if you know on TikTok, if you don't know, I don't want to leave. I don't want to give it away.
Oh my gosh.
It is so.
I don't think
funny.
it's that funny.
It is so.
I just don't
funny.
like people being humiliated. It's not funny. I mean, I guess it's not like that true humiliation.
But that's the beauty of the trick of the prank because they get to join in next round. It's literally like, you got me, now I get to get someone else, and that's a good joke.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I don't know how we started talking about that, but it's okay.
Because we're talking trends.
Right.
Trends.
So we're talking about the Bachelorette here. Okay, so we started off this week with a one-on-one. She needed more clarity from Marcus. That was our first one-on-one, yeah. And you know what?
Look, Jeremy was pretty upset that he was not getting the one-on-one, but then he eventually did get one.
Yeah, he got his, and we'll discuss him in a second. Let's talk about Marcus.
That date was just so lame.
Well, it was product placement.
It was so lame.
Yeah, that's all it was just a big old heap in a product placement, and so, which they don't pay us any money, so I'm not even going to discuss what they were advertising. But it was for a movie that's upcoming, and they literally it would have been cool if they designed the update in a better way that you could be like, oh my gosh, they built this set, and wow, they did this.
Yeah,
and they hired these actors. No, they just got a bunch of the former Bachelorettes.
It was the cheapest date you could possibly
to hand them cards.
I think they spent the money on flying the Bachelorettes there,
truly,
instead of like the actual date.
Even the yellow brick road that was there was not.
Yeah, it was like paper.
Yeah, they were. If she were wearing heels, she would have stepped through them.
Yeah,
it was not impressive. And so that made the actual date. I'm sure they enjoyed it, but it seemed lackluster to watch.
Yeah,
it was cool to see some of those past Bachelorettes, but they're not really doing much.
No.
The Australian Bachelorettes did more.
Charity did have a little part in the beginning when she was like giving her advice.
Yeah,
but.
Yeah, and then we got into the actual date where she needed to connect more with Marcus. She was worried that she was further along than he was.
Yeah, she was like, "Am I more invested in this than he is?"
Right, and so because of that, that's partially why he got the second one-on-one. And then but they got to the date. I don't know what prodded this out of him, or just a natural flow of conversation. He goes into
well, I think it was because she was like, "What is it? Do you want me to come to your hometown? What's it gonna be like? Like, tell me about your family."
Yeah, right. You're right.
And then we come to find out he had a really rough upbringing.
Incredibly rough. It was a very sad story. It was a story that unfortunately is, I guess, common and like from what I hear about foster care, kids that that end up in having to need that assistance, and it was sad to hear. But it sounds like he persevered. We saw a little glimpse of him and his sister next week. She seems to be very committed to him, as he mentioned, and that was good. They seem to connect. As we've said in the past on this show, on this podcast, there's rumors, and they're just rumors. As far as I know, no one who's actually accusing him has come out and said anything and verified and confirmed anything. So these are just rumors. You should take it as if a 2-year-old just walked in here and said it. But there is a lot of rumors online about him not being particularly a great guy, in the sense of infidelity, or is it called that when you're just boyfriend and girlfriend?
I saw verbal and physical
abuse, cheating, gaslighting. Literal people are accusing him of animal cruelty, but again, these are just
animal cruelty.
Yeah, these are just comments, and there are anonymous things that could just be someone who's a troll making stuff up. And so it's it's a cloud over, I guess, Marcus, for the viewers, for those of us who are chronically online, I guess. Maybe if you're just watching, it's the first time you heard about that and you don't know about that.
Yeah.
So it is interesting with that part of it. Did that affect how you viewed the date at all, or not really?
No, my biggest thing with Marcus is I just don't really see much of a personality.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm kind of just like, I don't really know what Jen really likes about him, I guess I'll say.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. I agree. I think she likes the strong, quiet steadiness of Marcus, because it's a contrast to what it sounds like she's been with or been attracted to in the past. And he does seem like a great guy from what has been portrayed on the show.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think that plays into it a little bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was your normal pre-hometown date. She gave him the rose. They connected. We're gonna see who he meets, who he introduces her to.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, in the preview, he was talking to some white guy, older white guy.
Okay.
So I don't know if he did have a foster family that worked out, or someone that he sees as like a parent figure.
I don't know if we missed that on the show, but we were a little bit confused as to whether that he did find him and his sister found some stability, or whether they had to stay bouncing around.
Yeah, we didn't really get a ultimate ending.
Right. So that's where we stood with Marcus. Then we got our group dates, which we were watching and kind of taking care of things in the house. I walked in and immediately saw the radio station. Oh, and by the way, everyone went on the group date except for Jeremy, so because he got the 101 after this.
Yeah.
But when I saw the radio station, this just show you can trust your host, your podcast host. They say, I wonder if these guys are really as well versed on reality TV as they say they are. The second I saw that radio station, what did I say? I said, oh, that's the one with, because I didn't see who was in it.
Yeah.
I said, they've done this date before.
Yeah.
With, now I can't remember his name.
Jason Mesnick.
Yeah, Jason Mesnick.
Yeah.
You remember that?
And you said it like before Jason was even there.
On the screen.
And then all of a sudden Jason pops up.
I just saw the room for a split second. I was like, oh, that's.
Yeah.
And bam. I was like, wow, that's
still
crazy.
Trap memory.
Listen, man, I don't know. There's a lot of podcasters.
And then they showed a callback.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Which is it's weird. We've seen a lot of flashbacks on reality TV shows.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. We got to bring that up when we talk about Big Brother.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of these reality TV show podcasters that are like, we love the show. We've been watching it forever. But only this podcast actually remembers. There's so many reality TV covered podcasts where they can't even remember what happened that episode. Now, don't get me wrong. We forget some stuff too, but
sure.
Major plot points. Okay. So they're doing their classic the radio date where the Bachelors, they actually changed it up a little bit because they allowed the contestants to be in there. I don't think the segment, there's no way it aired for real live when it happened.
I don't think it aired. I don't know.
No, because then it would have given away who was
you're right.
So
but did they go back and air it later?
Maybe they aired it the day after the show, so you could hear it on the station. So you got what do you like about Jen and right?
Yeah, what do you like about? Or it was like 3 qualities about Jen. And all the guys were saying really good things.
And
Devin,
they were doing the classic
Spencer,
one-up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's nice. And she's pleasant. She's the greatest thing that's ever happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that. And she acknowledged that, but she's like, oh, but I like that.
And we're just getting a lot of fluff from Salmon. We start to see the cracks from Salmon. And all the other guys are just like, oh my goodness. Like, what is he saying? What is he doing?
Yeah.
And then even Jen is kind of like, what? And then they're like, okay, well, we think we're going to choose one guy that we think you need to get to know a little bit more. And so they pick Sam M, and all the other guys leave, which they're annoyed because they have to go and like watch it on a TV screen.
Right, but they did get to see his answers.
But then they got to see him completely tank. I mean, he took a nosedive.
I would like to reenact this. You have this. You have Jen.
Yeah.
You'll be Jen, or do you want to be Jen or Sam?
No, I'll be Jen.
Okay, go ahead.
What was your first impression of me?
Wow. I almost didn't even come here. And when I got out the limo, first thing I thought, this girl is not my type. Not my type. To be honest, I thought the Bachelorette was going to be Daisy or Maria, and I thought after that though, after seeing you and getting your vibe night one, I was like, this is meant to be. I'm meant to be here.
What do you like about me?
I like your selflessness. It's because I'm selfless.
How do you know I'm selfless though?
Well, you're either selfish or full of shit. Also, after night one, our connection was such a high.
Do you really feel like you really know me?
Well, my love language is physical touch. And then he climbs over the seat and makes out with her.
That was wild. And there was another part in there too where he goes, oh dang it, what did he say? He was the ferocious love. He was like, the moment you said ferocious love, I just knew I'm looking for a whatever some synonym to ferocious.
It was the most cliche platitudes you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
And said with zero authenticity.
Yeah. And then remember when before it was just them, they had all the guys there and they're like, okay, we're going to do one word association. I'm going to give you a word. You tell me another word back.
Right.
And they said fantasy suite. And Sam M said aggressive.
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Are you just trying to show out? Or is that what's really going through your mind?
Listen, none of what he said made sense or was applicable to any of her questions at any point.
Yeah, you're right.
His dad, well, I saw what someone who said they were his dad online claimed that the editors mixed up all his stuff. He didn't really say those things in that order, and they tried to make him look dumb. I'm like, well, what order would have made sense?
No, because Jen literally was walking out of there going, what?
And all the guys were reacting that way.
I think probably what did happen was he was going on and on and on and on and on because he didn't know what he was saying and he was just talking out of his butt. And so that's why he was probably like, oh, they cut so much out of it. But it still would not have made sense if they left it all in.
And exactly. It is tough when you're ranting and just kind of saying stuff. No one in real life, you never really have to go back and look exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Even if someone's like, you weren't making sense, people oftentimes will just say, if you knew what I was saying, you definitely would have got it. You just weren't listening to me.
Ugh.
And having to see yourself on TV not making sense, I don't know how you level with that.
Yeah, no.
But I've known this was coming since night one.
You have been saying that.
I just said what the
you
second.
thought it was going to happen a lot sooner, though.
And he actually, for brief moments, maybe by Jen because of Jen's grace and going easy on him, I was like, oh, maybe they are going to connect, you know. But I knew as soon as she was like, no, actually, let's not just make out. Tell me what you like about me.
Yeah.
He wouldn't stand a chance.
Yeah. And Jen was really trying. Like, she was really trying to help him be better in how he was answering her questions.
Right, because we'll just fast. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just was gonna say, because even Grant said it. He was like, "Well, I think it's because she cares. Like, she's still trying because there's something there."
Yeah,
and she even said it. She was like, "I don't understand how I could be so off base and feel such a strong connection, but he doesn't. He's not. He doesn't even really know me."
Yeah, and I mean, just to fast forward, after her one-on-one date with Jeremy before the rose ceremony, she barges into the guy's room while they're like getting dressed. I mean, not the full, but you know what I mean, putting on their shirts and stuff and playing. I don't know. It looks like they're playing games of some kind. And finds him and is like, come on, can you at least just give me something?
Yeah.
We kind of didn't mention this. He said, "Oh, I love you." After all the pressure, she was like, "What? Why? What? Give me something." And he just goes, "It's because I love you. I just love you." And she's like, "Okay, how do you know you love me?"
I just think he wanted it to be this huge moment of just like, yeah, like nothing else matters because I love you. And she was just kind of like, no, that's not going to work. And I hate that. That's almost like exactly what Sam In did.
That's 100%.
When he was like, I'm falling in love with you. And it's just like, come on.
Yeah, the both of them, I think, had a perception of winning the show, and to some varying degrees. And I also think he just didn't actually like her.
He could not even follow up with what he loves about her.
Right.
He said, "Oh, well, I could give you characteristics, but every girl has those characteristics."
And I'm just like, well, then what?
I'm like, no, that's not true. If you truly love someone, you should definitely be able to say what you love about them.
I almost want to like script doctor what he was saying, because benefit of the doubt, he could have gone somewhere with that. You know what I mean? Like, what's to say about? You could say the same thing about someone's face. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you've got red hair, you know, greenish bluish eyes. You know what I mean? Cute face, you know, cheeks. You know what I mean? But there's thousands of women that look just like that. The difference between them and you is the way you smile.
You know how mad I would have been?
No, the way you smile, you know what I mean? The way you laugh, you know what I mean? Yeah. The indistinguishable things that honestly I don't know if anyone notices, and it's hard to even articulate, but when I see you, you're so much different than all those people that have those same qualities.
Jared, you don't need to be writing scripts for these people.
But that's what I'm saying. He wasn't all the way wrong, you know what I mean? He just didn't land the plan.
Yeah.
So if that's what he was trying to do or communicate, he did it so unsuccessfully,
so poorly,
that if everyone was just like, what?
Yeah.
Because if he said, I know tons of girls who are kind, tons of girls who are, you know, strong-willed, you know what I mean, and sure of themselves, but it's the way you're kind. It's the way you're strong-willed and how it makes me feel that separates you. And it can only be described by the love that I feel for you.
But even that, it's like, what is the way that you see me being kind?
Right. Well, that
he couldn't even say that.
You have to have substance.
He couldn't even say, it was kind of you to do X, Y, and Z for me. He couldn't even do that.
And you have to feel it. He doesn't even feel it.
No. And then that's another thing he said was, it's just a feeling. I can't say it. I just know it's just a feeling. And she's like, that's not going to cut it for me. No. Like, that's not going to work for me.
And thankfully, I'm glad she's seen the light.
Yeah.
So then we go to Jeremy. Jeremy's date. What did they do? I like how I was just talking about our steel trap memory.
Listen.
And now we have no idea what Jeremy. Oh no, they went to the market, the Seattle market. We actually watched a podcast just outside that market.
Oh yeah.
It's another podcast. No free advertising. Anyways, and so they were throwing fish around, doing local market activity stuff. Then they had a date where they talked about each other's religions.
Oh yeah.
Their upbringings, what they were looking for, and out of nowhere, I mean, there's really not that much more to it. They did connect on some levels. Out of nowhere, he got a hometown rose. Mm-hmm. I thought for sure it was like, hey, sorry, Jeremy. But I guess with Sam M.
Yeah, you were like, Jeremy's out. And I was like, I don't know. I could see him edging in. But
I think it was because Sam M was gone.
I think so too.
She didn't give out a group date rose.
And it was shocking that we really thought Grant would be in Final Four. So that was pretty shocking too. You didn't?
I don't know if I ever thought he was going to be in Final Four.
I thought he would be.
So that was, he got the rose. Mm-hmm. So she only had 2 roses left to give out. Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have gotten 0 screen time of her and Jeremy's connection.
I disagree. He just had a one-on-one, and before that they were doing. I felt so sure that she was getting a rose because I thought they had a very strong connection, if not the strongest connection.
What?
Yeah. I think Devin. She's got a strong connection with Devin.
Yeah.
I think Jeremy is up there with Marcus and. I mean, not Jeremy. Wait. I'm talking about Jonathan, not Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Jeremy.
Let me correct. I was thinking, I heard you say Jeremy, but in my head I thought you said Jonathan. No, Jeremy.
I was like, what? Are we watching the same show?
No, I didn't even think of Jeremy at all.
No, that's why I'm like, I'm shocked that Jeremy got a hometown.
Yeah, I saw Jeremy as one of those guys that just kind of
almost like a Spencer.
Yeah, I didn't see him making it. I actually thought Spencer would have had a better chance than Jeremy ever did.
Well, so at this point, who do you think's winning?
We've got at hometowns. We've got
Devin, Jeremy, Marcus, and Jonathan.
Okay, it's not Jeremy. It's not Jonathan, and I know it's not Jonathan because she's looking up when she does the whole like, I can't let you propose to me, mm-hmm. and he's not that much taller than her. So that leaves Marcus and Devin.
I think it's Devin.
It's definitely Devin.
I think it's Devin.
It's definitely Devin because if you notice, they've cooled down on the villain stuff.
Yeah,
they did that at the beginning, and now the edit is more like. They're not showing guys. They want, the final one pick to not look like a villain for the sake of their lead. Mm-hmm. And so we're not getting any of that edit anymore. And I think it's Devin.
Yeah.
Which is, would be interesting. I don't think it's been a long time since we've had a guy like Devin win the show. So that'll be interesting. That's what I think it is. So we also got some more news after everyone got their roses. It didn't end up on the show. It got dropped on the Bachelor Nation blog about a minute after the show premiered.
Yeah.
Almost as like, I had to verify it. I was like, is this a fake blog?
It did seem like a fake out because they were Johnny on the spot with it.
And it's much earlier than they usually announce it.
Yeah.
But The Bachelor was announced for next season of the show.
I think they're trying to get away from like, oh, I thought it was going to be Daisy. I thought it was going to be... I think they're like, no, we need to get it out there and we need to get people who want to date this person.
I agree. And I honestly think that's a great idea. Sam M said it himself, just like you said. I thought it was going to be so-and-so.
Right.
We need people who are coming on there to date the lead because that gives you a good crop of contestants that are, as we said, there to date the lead.
Right.
So, that's really all there is to it, I guess. Grant grew on us. He seemed very cliche at the beginning of the season.
I know.
He seemed like just kind of like a guy, good-looking guy, says the right things because he knows that's all he needs to do.
Yeah.
But as the more we saw that he had depth in his emotions. If anything, he kind of fell in love really easily. Mm-hmm, I think if anything, I was like, that's all it took. You know what I mean? And
well, I listened to his whole interview on Vial Files today, and he literally said like. So they were like, what did you learn? And he was like, I learned that I could fall in love after one date with someone. And I was just like, whoa, that's dangerous, but also like, okay.
And that's exactly the kind of person the producers
I
want.
know.
They don't want somebody who takes them a whole season and be like, I could see dating you a lot.
Yeah.
They want someone who, oh my gosh, I love 17 women. How did this happen?
But so he did say that he has been in one serious relationship and it was like 7 years, which to me says he's loyal. Like, I think he really is taking it seriously.
No, you're right. No, it's going to be interesting to see how they go about his season because we still don't know too much about him. But even his responses to the guys and how he talked to them showed his maturity. I think was that last episode where we were like, wow, this is the Grant maturity episode.
Yeah.
And looking back, that might have been the producer saying, okay, let's show, let's assure that these guys.
Well, I'm glad they did.
Right. And it was a good call. Good job, producers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was good to see, I believe, from Grant, that he has that side to him. But that's our Bachelor. We don't know much about. Oh,
that being said, he's a Houstonian, and that being said, I have the perfect match for you, Grant Ellis. Okay.
Oh, you're right. You know
I
what?
have found your future wife. And I know who she is.
Don't say her name.
I won't say her name. She is a Texas local, and I will be signing her up.
We're actually doing it right now. Let's talk about her while you're signing her up. Come on.
Okay, she is one of my very best friends from college. She's Texas A&M grad. Gig 'em.
Okay, hold on. Stop.
Too much info?
Yeah, don't give personal info.
Oh! What do you want me to say?
We'll talk about who she is and not her address, home at her.
Okay.
So people can find her.
Okay. She is very kind, very loving. She will do anything for anybody. She will give you a shirt off her back. She is. Can I say what she does for profession? No. I won't say that. She
Come on,
loves
Sam
pets.
Why don't you talk about why she's good and not just?
I am.
Yeah, but not her location and her occupation.
Hey,
talk about how cool of a person she is.
I am. Let me speak, please. She loves animals. She is a great caretaker to dogs, and she likes fitness. She is.
Can you type that in? We're filling out her application right now.
Wait, did you do the? Okay.
So yeah, we are applying Brooke's friend to the show. Hopefully she can get cast.
I gotta ask her birthday. But some of these questions are a little personal.
Okay, well maybe we're not gonna
like her height and weight.
Okay, maybe. Yeah. Maybe if you're not gonna talk while we're doing it, maybe we won't do it on the podcast.
What do you have to say about her? You know her.
I know her very briefly. Grant, you're not gonna be disappointed. She's a good-looking gal. She is fit. I mean, there's nothing. When you choose her, all that we ask is that y'all come on our podcast first. That's all I'm asking.
Yes, please.
Okay. So while Brooke's doing that, we're going to, I believe, wrap it up for Bachelorette this week. Like we are anticipating the rest of, I actually pictured this segment being a little less Brooke typing silently and more of us talking and maybe laughing while we were doing it. But
Sorry.
I didn't realize you would go so.
I'm taking it very seriously.
Yeah. So anyways, so Grant, we look forward to you selecting Brooke's friend to be your future winner of the season. And hey, even if you don't, you're in Houston. You don't have to fly out to New York or California to join a podcast to talk about your experience. You don't even have to wait until after you've been the Bachelorette. Come to the People's Rose, man. We are going to give you all the fair coverage that you want. You can say whatever.
Listen, I know you're used to like the big leagues now with Vial Files, but like, come give us a chance.
No, don't say it like that.
Why?
No, it's gonna be fun. We're cool people. You'll enjoy it. Okay, so we'll come back to the application here in a second.
Yeah, there's some personal cues on there I gotta ask.
Yeah, we didn't come fully prepared for that. Also, I don't have an also. So that was it. That's it for the Bachelorette this week. But that's not all that we watched. We also watched Claim to Fame, which comes on ABC as well.
Yes.
Claim to Fame is one of our favorite shows right now. It's really, really fun. They keep the intensity up.
Yes.
The people on that show came to play. They're not trying to be Instagram celebrities or influencers. They want that money.
They do.
They want that money. And so we're getting good gameplay. We're getting fun gameplay. Let's talk about it this week. It's the latest week of Claim to Fame. What are your thoughts?
They are getting down to the end, and they do start giving a lot more clues at this point.
Right.
So the game that they had today, what was like 6 degrees of separation?
Right, which was cool.
And if you won the round, then you got a clue. So everyone ended up getting a clue but Danny, right?
I believe so.
And the clues were pretty I'm trying to think. Well, there was one clue that was given that I knew instantly.
Which one was that?
That was Mackenzie's.
Right. Well, we didn't see that till the end of the show.
But, yeah.
So we didn't see her till the end of the show. It was the honky tonk. It confirmed what we thought maybe it was Trace Adkins. Because he's the only 6'6" country person out there that's really...
That sings honky tonk badonk donk.
Right. Just honky tonk. And so that was confirmed. We got some clues about Danny being in the movie with Denzel. We got all the clues. We didn't write them down, but those are the ones that jump out. And so now everyone knows about. What are just some of the things that are going on in the house? Everyone still hates Adam.
So HUD got to pull the clue from the wine cellar.
Well, hold on.
Oh.
Let's just talk about the lay of the house.
Prior.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
sorry.
Everyone still hates Adam, which is, I think, justified. Listen, we speculated that he could actually have some genuine learning deficiencies. And even if he doesn't, he's just a simple-minded dude that it almost doesn't feel right. But it is perplexing, some of the moves and thinking he has.
But he actually did pretty well in the challenge this week.
Right.
So I was kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's an act.
And people don't dislike him because he's not smart. They dislike him because he's very arrogant and self-centered, in the sense that people are like, let's share and work strategy to get it out. He's like, no, me. He literally trucked HUD trying to get a clue.
Oh, yeah. He totally, and HUD was like, I'm done. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Right. So now HUD wins, and he goes in there and just has to choose between Adam and Shane.
And last week, Adam told the guys that he pulled his own clue.
Right.
And so HUD has been going along with this lie that Adam has his own clue. They pulled Adam's clue.
Right.
So he was like, so I kind of need to win and get in there and actually get the clue.
Right. So he does that.
Yeah.
And I think he made the right choice. Ultimately getting Adam's clue. He has all the information that he said he had. And although they didn't figure it out, he couldn't figure it out. It did give him more leverage on Adam.
Yes.
The clue, which we don't have in front of us, was like long. Ended up being, it was like a long and short pencil, a bunch of hairs. It ended up being long-haired 90s singer who sang about love and billboards, baseballs and billboards. But maybe it was about Rock of Love, so people were thinking that at the end, when they showed the clue around, they thought it might be Bret Michaels.
Yes, it seems like maybe they pull the clues like right before they guess. Because for the past 2 weeks, they've been like scrambling to try to figure it out right before the guess off.
Right.
And so that was kind of what was happening. And so it was between Danny and Shane for the guess off.
Yeah.
And HUD was like, look, here's the clue. But everyone was kind of like, what?
Yeah.
Like they had no idea. So then
some of the clues have been so easy, but his was very like, even just the clue itself took him a while to get to the long hair part.
Yeah. So then Mackenzie was sweating bullets because she was like, Shane has my clue. I know he shared it with Danny.
Yeah, and she pulled
They're
off
probably both going to guess me. So so she goes in there and she's like, hey, who do you think I am? Like, have you figured it out?
Right.
And Shane, who knows nothing about country music, he says, is like, oh, it's this, and points to it. And she goes, I'm going to throw up.
Right. Because him and Danny decided that it was Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
Because that's the only 6'6" person they knew.
Yeah, country singer they knew, really. Yeah. So she's like, oh, I'm going to throw up. That makes me sick. Mm-hmm. And so then he's like, oh, we got her. We got it. We got it. And she's like, how'd you know? How'd you guess it?
Right.
And
yeah, so anyways, I think that was a really good move from her.
It was.
She's a much better actor than I thought, because I was genuinely, they didn't reveal it to us on the show that was not who it was until the very end. Mm-hmm. And so she did a really good job of making everyone think she was nervous, making everyone think it was a lock that Shane had figured out, to the point where Shane and Danny, being the bottom two guessers, we're both going to probably guess her. And Danny was picked, and he ends up guessing her.
Yeah. I can't understand, though, why they chose Danny to be the guesser when they already know who Danny is. They already know that he's Mark Anthony. So why not put Shane in the guesser and force him out when you could easily get Danny out when you needed to?
Well, she had them switch. No, you're right. I think she had them switch to Danny because she knew that Shane, though he had her clue, did not know who her clue was. So I think she thought it was safer to have him and then be wrong. And maybe Danny would guess someone else.
I guess so.
So she was like, yes, let's keep him, not thinking that Danny would also guess.
I think so.
Her, and that they'd shared it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because then after that, Danny is like, they were like, why'd you guess that? And like, well, I talked to Shane and this was the clue I got. And you can see her going like, oh my
Danny threw Mackenzie under the bus out the door.
And Adam claims he knows.
Because Danny guesses Mackenzie. He guesses wrong. We confirm that he is Mark Anthony. And then they're like, how'd you know? Or why'd you guess? And he was like, well, Shane shared the clue and it said 6'6" country star. So then Adam's like, oh, well, there's not many of those around. Adam might be the biggest country music fan out there.
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, you have to have, if you like country music, I think you have an awareness of music, and he just didn't even know that. He didn't even see the Michael Jackson clothes.
True.
So I think I think that's just production.
Like maybe he's just doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think this was a good episode, and it's a good example of, even if they're not being, well, and don't get me wrong, Mackenzie actually pulled off a great move.
Yeah, because then at the end, she was like, yeah, I actually got my own clue at the game. And then they show us the clue, and it's the honky tonk badonkadonk, which now I can confirm it is Trace Adkins.
Yeah.
And
is the song honky tonk badonkadonk?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Why are you doubting me?
No, okay, go ahead.
You think it's called something else?
No, just go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that was the end of it.
Yeah. It was a good episode. It was good, and the production still finds the way to edit it in a way, because they could have just showed and given all the information as it was happening. But withholding that from us until the end allows you to still have these good reveals at the end of the episode, because we don't know if that's the right person or not.
Right.
We don't know how that's happening. So I would say, honestly, and this is something that would be hard because you really can't compare it. They film the whole season, and they can edit it, back afterwards, after the fact. But I almost wish Big Brother editors would take some keys from them. But it's a different show because Big Brother, there's live feeds.
Yeah.
We know more than the house guests.
Right.
What's going on in the house, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so producers probably just assume that when they're editing it as well.
Well, yeah. Well, then at the end too, we see them going back to revisit Adam's clue. And that's when they're like, wait, maybe it's Bret Michaels.
Right.
Because he had that show, Rock of Love.
He sang the song. I thought there was a song called Rock of Love.
Maybe, but I think the song that they always used for the show was that Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
Right, which is why did they think that meant Bret Michaels then? Because it was a baseball and a billboard. That was it.
True.
I don't understand why they made that connection to Bret Michaels.
I don't know either.
Oh my! And that's Adam's clue.
Yeah.
He doesn't really look like Bret Michaels or maybe it's Axl Rose.
I don't know who Axl Rose is.
Axl Rose is the lead singer of the band that sings "Welcome to the Jungle," which Guns N' Roses.
Oh, I'm trying to think of the end of the clue too. It looks like a baseball, but maybe they were saying that was a rock.
Right. We'll have to look it up on the Instagram. We don't have that up right now, but maybe we'll have more. We'll have figured it out, or they'll reveal it next episode. But it was good. It was a good episode of Claim to Fame, and I'm just looking forward to it. We're down to the final four. We'll see how far everyone makes it. Who calls it out in the end? And I anticipate a good end of the season. Anything else on Claim to Fame?
I think that's it.
Well, we're going to save Brooks Buzz and all our other stuff for next episode for Love is Blind. Typically, Big Brother we'll do it on the next episode. But since we got so much Love is Blind content going on next episode, we are going to get into it right now. Let's talk about Big Brother. Man, I think this season is Big Brother 26. We're just going to have to label this the crazy season.
I am just every week like bamboozled. Like, what just happened?
It's just insane. I put this out on Tumblr, on our Tumblr page or whatever. We have a Tumblr page. Anyways, this season has Quinn, Angela, and Tucker, and all of those are all three of those are all like all-time crazy players.
Yes.
Angela is just crazy. She's actually just crazy. Tucker, I think, is actually crazy as well, but he's game crazy.
I also think he's just like easily bored, so he's like, how can I just bring chaos? Right. He's probably like that in his life too.
Right. Okay, here's how. Angela, crazy, right? Yeah. That's slot one. Tucker, game moves crazy. Yeah. Like win veto, not use it on yourself. Yeah. Quinn, social game crazy. Yeah. And that he tells everyone. He's in Quinn. 17 million alliances.
I had such high hopes for Quinn, and they are coming tumbling down.
He's annoying me.
He's annoying me too.
I'm not a fan. I'm not really on rooting for him. He's working with some people that I like, but he's blowing up their games. He got Cedric's and Holmes. I mean, if you're listening, you've seen that now, or I would hope so.
I'm honestly sad about that. And the house guests were sad. They were all crying.
Definitely.
What? Yeah. Yeah.
It just wasn't. It was like.
It just was a hot mess express.
You said it best. Like, I'm just so of a little just. It's just a little perplexing.
I honestly feel like it comes down to if Quinn would not have told anyone about his power.
Yes.
He could have taken over this week's HOH.
Yeah.
Without it still being secret. Right. And I think people would still trust him and not turn their backs on him like Chemo and T-Core did.
Right. And then he told them, hey, y'all are in the bottom of this alliance. So they took that information as they should have and used it to try to tip the scales back more towards even or more towards them.
Which now I'm like, is Quinn gonna be mad at them?
No, I don't know if he has the capability to be mad because he's
true. True, because he's supposedly in a beef with Tucker, but they're like besties every other second.
It's a rule. I think he also appreciates like some dude just Tucker's craziness.
Yeah.
He's like, I think if he were out of the house, he would actively be rooting for Tucker, how Tucker plays. So many people are just team chaos in the house, and that's you get what you want when you root for that. So I mean, just a quick recap of this week. We found out on the pod last week, and the camera died before so we don't have the footage, but it's on the podcast. We found out live that Angela was the HOH.
Shocking.
And we were just gobsmacked. It's just like the craziest thing that could have happened.
Like, what are y'all doing? How is she winning?
Right. And then we see the HOH comp, of course, was the
find the wrong picture.
Right. And it was like a versus where you go back and forth, back and forth. And so she was ready. I mean,
she was in a stance ready to go.
Everyone was laughing, but she won.
She won.
And she was a little confused. She didn't realize that this was basically already a predetermined Quinn HOH week because of his power. But she got her safety. And so that was that.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn HOH. He uses
deep fake.
Deep fake. And yes. You're right. Not only would it have been better for his game, it would have been better for the show.
Yeah.
If he had just kept quiet.
Yeah.
It would have been so cool. I thought the producers were just going to sequester Angela in the HOH room and have her read lines that Quinn had said, and everyone would be like, "Why was she doing that?" Which honestly still is, I think, a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But they literally did the AI.
They literally did a deep fake,
a literal deep fake, and her with her voice. Her AI voice,
which was so classic. She was like, "No,
I didn't do that.
I didn't do that. I didn't nominate them."
Right, and so it was really well done by producers. I could feel them in the editing room rolling their eyes because although people would have assumed it was someone taking over her HOH, it would have been like you're saying. People would have been like, "What's going on?"
It would have been so much better.
Exactly. So it's just not that neutered it a little bit, but he puts up Tucker, which he should have. Puts up Mackenzie because I don't know why, actually. Why? I never got the reasoning, the full reasoning on that. I guess
just because she was mad at him, right? Yeah, she was mad at him for... No, she was mad at Cedric for Cedric putting her up.
Right. So
and then Quinn not going with the plan, or Cedric not going with the plan to put Quinn up.
Right. I think he felt like Mackenzie was safe and that Cedric was safe, and they would both be good competitors to take out Tucker. Now, I say that about Cedric. Cedric volunteered. I think Cedric let the pressure of Tucker being like, "I'm a man. I want to get you out. I'm going to put myself on the block to get you out," get in his head a little bit, that he wanted to match that energy.
That's why it makes me so mad that Tucker actually did volunteer and did get off. Because 9 times out of 10, when you volunteer, you go home.
Right.
And Tucker is now that one exception, and he gets to gloat about it all season. Whereas now we have cutie cute Cedric gone, sweet boy. He was just sweet. He was kind to everyone.
Very kind. Yeah.
And that's why everyone was bawling when they sent him home. And now he's out of the house.
Yeah. They didn't show his goodbye messages. I want to see that.
They're doing it the next day.
Yeah. Sometimes they show a little bit of it though.
Yeah.
Tucker and Angela have just gotten everything has worked out for them. Even when things don't work out, it works out for them.
Yeah.
Because as you saw, Tucker's nominated. Wednesday episode comes, he wins the veto, which is just what?
Like, I hate when people start steamrolling. I hate that. Or the same people are winning over and over and over.
Right. And so Tucker is our HOH. And I mean, no, Tucker has won veto, and people are wondering, is he going to pull the crazy thing again? Is he going to do it again? But he actually does it's not a crazy thing to use the veto on himself. But for Tucker, I guess it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think they kind of thought, well, he will not let Rabina go home, so he'll stay up there to play BBI Arena or whatever it is.
Right.
But that's not what happened.
Yeah. So he is, he takes himself off. They put Rabina up. We think we really have no idea what's going to happen this week. We also know we didn't watch the Tuesday episode. There was an episode on Tuesday, but that we didn't watch. If you wanted us to talk about that, it sounds like it was just a recap episode, which is what we thought. And so tonight I love it. We finally got, I think, the episode that the producers were looking for and hoping for.
Yeah.
Where we have no idea who's going to go home. And if one thing happens, it's a split vote that people will have to campaign and save themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we're at this point because you would think Cedric has the numbers, right? No. Quinn, like we said, told T-Core and Chemo all about everything.
Yeah.
And them being smart players, or at least not dumb, said, the more I think about it, we got to get rid of Cedric.
They were like, so Quinn is like, okay, here's the Pentagon within the collective.
Yeah, yeah.
So then T-Core and Chemo were like, oh, well, now we know we're the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like, I think, I think it's hard to see and forecast who has the power, but I think it's really just me being in denial that Tucker and Angela are just, well, maybe less so Angela, because maybe we should talk about Angela's pitiful, pathetic, please let me be in this alliance.
Oh, that kind of hurt. That kind of hurt. And then I had to remind myself, no, she did it to herself. Because they wanted her in the collective. Right. They had open arms for her in the collective.
Right.
And then she was just like totally destroyed it. So she did that to herself.
100%.
She proved that she can't really be trusted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so, sorry, that's what happens.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry. It's like, this is what happens in the game. But, beg, maybe that's one way to get more alliances is to beg for them. So she's not in a great spot, but almost when the heat's on you for so long and they can't get you out, people start looking other directions.
Yeah.
Because you are so outcast now that people start thinking, we'll get Angela out whenever. You know what I mean? Maybe this is the week I need to get Joseph out. Maybe this is the week I need to get Brooklyn out.
Right.
That's how it happens. Tucker has shown that he can win his way out. And especially if they're going to continue this multiple chances to do that with the AI arena. And I just know he's going to get that America's AI instigator thing.
Oh, yeah, he probably will.
Right, which is only going to motivate him more to be crazier and stuff. So that's what happened this week. I just am really I personally, the craziness can be fun at times. I just like when it's motivated by rationale that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if things are going to happen that's really dramatic and fun, I like that when it feels like we're not just being tossed by the winds of Tucker's boredom or Angela's mood swings or Quinn's like insanely dumb gameplay.
Yeah.
And what I liked about in the midst of the chaos, you do get the quieter, smart move of T-Core and Chemo.
What do you think about that? Do you think that was a good move on their part? You do.
Because they're not in the Pentagon.
Yeah.
They're in the collective, but they're at the bottom.
Yeah.
They know in the collective there's a 5-person alliance that would choose themselves over them.
Yeah.
And Quinn is in it, and they're on the outside. Getting rid of Cedric gives them more persuasion with Quinn, whether he likes it or not. And strength weakens the Pentagon, which is now just the square inside the collective.
Well, now they're down 1.
Right.
So it's just 4 of them.
That's why I said the square.
Oh.
So it'll be interesting.
And I just can't imagine. Like, do you think Quinn is gonna try to jump ship and get with T-Core and Chemo?
Quinn is in every alliance and in no alliance. So
you're right.
He's it doesn't matter what he does.
See, I just don't like that because now that I liked the Pentagon. And so I'm like, ugh, I don't like that the power's shifting.
Yeah. Which is they're in a weird position where Tucker can legitimize these alliances that he was in.
Right.
He and Rubina they were on some alliances that were just other people like, oh, you brought this to me, so yeah, if you want, I'll do it. I'm not gonna say no. You know what I mean? But if Tucker or Rubina or that side of the house gets power, those people are gonna have to like, oh yeah, well, I am in your alliance, kind of thing.
I just can't.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, and I'm just oh my gosh, Angela just being like, please let me in, please let me in. Like, why wouldn't they at this point? It's just gonna be another number for them.
Right. I think this is the wall endurance comp is set up for smaller, athletic, lighter competitors, and that literally describes Rubina to a T. All she needs is moderate grip strength relative to her size. She might be up there all night. We are watching the live feeds. They are on Cats currently, which is what they go to when they're setting up for something or they're doing a comp they don't want to show us. We know they're going to show us the HOH comp. So while we won't be podcasting long enough to see the entirety of the walk,
it's gonna go till like 4 a.m.
It just depends on where people feel in the house.
Yeah, but it's also almost. Well, it's already 11, and they haven't even started.
In the Big Brother house, it's only 9 o'clock.
Well, I know, but I'm saying for us.
That's what I was saying. We're not going to be podcasting long enough.
No, I know, but are we going to stay up all night and watch it?
Oh, if you want to, that's fine with me. I plan on doing it.
Okay.
What do I got to do tomorrow except work and totally be devoted to work?
Yeah, come on.
So yeah, I just anticipate more craziness from Big Brother. We just still have so many crazy people in the house when it comes to Angela, Quinn, Tucker, and then Tucker has the alliance with Rubina, and Angela is Angela. So I mean, if we had, it would take 3 straight weeks of getting them out at a minimum for the craziness to leave the house, and that's just not going to happen. Where those 3 are going to go out back to back.
Yeah.
So I've just given myself into this being a crazy season and just going along for the ride.
Yep.
Is there anything we missed kind of in the Big Brother coverage this week, or recap, reaction?
I think that's it. I think Brooklyn is actually really playing a pretty good game.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it probably screwed her a little bit that she was on voting Rubina out versus Cedric. But because they had formed that little like fakey alliance, that Brooklyn was in, and so Rubina's now probably like, wait, what's up? But I don't know.
Right, because I did see Mackenzie. You know who this is good for? You know who this is great for? Mackenzie.
Yeah.
If Mackenzie's smart, and I'm hoping she is, because we're gonna get to it. She's still my default this week, although I have some new contenders.
I mean,
Houston, go Houston. She needs to get, and it might pain her to do this. She needs to start the opposite of the Pentagon Collective. She needs to pull in Tucker. She needs to swallow her pride and pull in Angela. She needs to get Rubina in. They can get in Joseph, because Joseph has the 1-2 with Tucker that started, and the producers tried to get us to be like, they showed a flashback of season 14.
Oh yeah,
Dan and Ian.
Yes.
You know, the nerd and the wild card.
Right.
They're trying to do that with Joseph and Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
we never get flashbacks like that.
We've never had a flashback like that.
That's crazy.
So they were clearly trying to put forth an agenda there. Oh, there's a wall comp.
Now, here we go.
My laptop is about to die, so we won't see it. We'll have to switch over. But yeah, so while we're talking about this, we are watching the HOH comp. They are on the wall. So like I was saying, she needs to pull that side of the house and get them together to combat.
I want to see who this one person is real quick.
They need to get that side of the house together to combat the larger side of the house and take them out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're gonna see it's really gonna come down to who wins this wall comp.
Yeah.
Is really what it's gonna come down to. Okay, so let's do our favorites and worst this week for Big Brother before we wrap this episode up. I would say my least favorite contestant is still, without a doubt, Angela. I just can't bring myself to root for her, even though I've kind of just decided to just give in to her being a part of this season for an extended period of time. My favorite contestant is, I'm going to say Mackenzie, because of the Houston connection, which now I've said so many weeks, I'm just actively like, all right, I guess let's go Mackenzie.
Okay. I'm sorry, I have to say this. She's boring. She's not really playing. She was on the block and she barely had screen time on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I was ready to switch to Rubina, but she just seems she's gone full showmance.
Yeah.
And full Tucker show.
She's gone to the dark side.
And I realized before this episode that I actually feel myself wanting to root for for T-Core and maybe even Chemo, the little duo that they've got going on. But I've just been so averse to T-Core's accent. But maybe I just need to go full T-Core.
Maybe.
But I would say Mackenzie, then T-Core, then Chemo.
Okay.
Who do I think is going to win? T-Core.
Okay.
So those are mine. What are yours? We just had Angela fall off.
Oh.
Angela has just fallen off the wall. She is our first contestant to fall off the wall. Okay, go ahead, Brooke.
You're crawling. My least favorite has dropped down to Quinn. This week he was
he's a strong
more
contender for least
insufferable
favorite
to me. So he was least favorite.
Yeah.
Honorable mention to Cedric because I loved Cedric and I'm sad he's
for least
gone.
favorite.
No, for my favorite.
Okay.
But really my favorite, still rocking with Chelsea.
Okay. Yeah.
And who I think is gonna win, honestly, maybe Brooklyn if she starts winning comps.
Brooklyn's a strong contender. Yeah. She's got to win some comps.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Well, we hopefully, you know what, my goal might be to actually get this episode out before the end of the wall comp. But if you've listened to us, we're really grateful. Please listen. You can go to listen to us on Spotify, Apple, any podcast app. You can find us and enjoy listening to us. If you want to see our beautiful faces, we're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram at The People's Rose. You can go to peoplesrose.com for the links to all of that and for just to listen to the episodes. And like I said, we were going to take a day, maybe a day from now, or it could already be out. But we're also going to be recording and releasing another Love is Blind mega podcast about Love is Blind Mexico, the finale, not the reunion though, and then Love is Blind UK, which is right before the finale. So, and we're going to do our Rose winners in Brooks Blood. So we've got a lot more content, a lot more reality. Oh, we've got Chemo falling off the wall as well.
Chemo.
And we're live reporting. So I would like this podcast to get out ASAP. And thank you for listening to us. And we hope you get even more time with us this week and in the future weeks.
Yep.
Like I said, I say this every week, but we gotta start doing at least a little bit about the HGTV shows we watch, because that's also reality TV. But thank you for listening. We'll hope to see you soon, or you hear us soon. And I hope you have a good, blessed week. Brooke?
Peace and blessings.
Bye.
Bye.